wasn't going to be that easy. Access denied. We have gained an initial foothold. Boom, baby. We are in the admin club. Welcome back to DIY Security. Today, we're going to be doing a hack the box, a retired machine called Bastion, or Bastion, however you say it. But it's supposed to be an easy machine. Now, I will say I have spent probably altogether like 5, maybe even 6 hours on this machine. This machine definitely proves to be a little harder than I thought it would be. And it is definitely highly dependent on manual enumeration. So yeah, I thought it would be just kind of your typical hack the box. You find some creds, get initial access, maybe, you know, use your tools, and yeah. So without further ado, we'll get right in. All right. So I've already done this nmap scan, and we got port 22 open, Windows 7.9. We've got MSRPC. We got this HTTP API, which I don't think will show anything. Yeah, it's not going to show anything anyway. So the first thing I would do, we're going to look at, they got SMB open. So we're going to kind of enumerate this SMB, see if we can find anything. So we can do SMB client -L. Okay, so we got admin, backups, C, IPC. So I've actually already downloaded pretty much everything that I can download from these. So I got backups, whatever that is, CD 11. Got media ID, this notes txt. Now the notes txt ended up being kind of telling, because that's what led me down a whole rabbit hole. And when I got to the backup files, so I tried to do, we'll just go back to the SMB, get rid of the L. Then I went to backups. Do a dir. So you can see those are the files. So we can see those are the files there. Nmap test file. Notes.txt. Windows image backup. So I went to Windows image backup, went into this user L4 PC dir. So I ended up trying to pretty much get everything that's here. Alright, but I was having issues getting this backup. CD into backup. CD into. See if I can just copy and paste this. acting finicky here. CD into. There we go. I ended up having to do some digging to figure out. At the top, we have these VHD files. Virtual hard disk, right here. VHD file. So I had to, we'll just exit out of this. We did, in case you don't have it, it would be sudo apt-get install, which I think I already have it. Libguest. Libguest FS tools. After that, we will get this sudo apt-get install cifs-utils, and that one is installed already. So here you can see I made a new directory called backups and mkdir backups, and then we ended up what we're trying to do is mount those virtual hard disk files because they're too large for us to just get them in the SMB. So that's what we're going to do here. We're going to do a sudo mount -t cifs-o, do make it read write for username equals guest, because that was what we that was the SMB that we were using. And then we will 10.10 put the IP of the victim machine. What was it? 134. We'll do backups, and then we are putting it in the backups that I made. Okay. So now, when we go into backups, everything, it's kind of like almost like we not remoted in, but it's like we're viewing it locally. We're mounted to that so once again, going into CD, Windows, backups, LS, went into there, CD, backups, LS. We can see the VHD file, but we've mounted to the SMB, but we still need to actually mount to the .vhd file. And this I feel like took the longest amount of time for me to try to dig up and figure out the right way to do that. So to add the .vhd image, we'll just let's see, we'll cd back, we'll get all the way out, and so I tried both of these. I believe the second one is the one that ended up working for me. Put this in. We got sudo guest mounts -a, and then pretty much just putting the full path of where this VHD file is, and we are going to be mounting it if this works. So this will actually it'll take a while. It'll take some time. So it's completed. So bam. Now this looks a good bit different. This is actually what we're looking at now is the we're inside of this .vhd file. Now going through here, like I had mentioned in the beginning, I thought that this was going to be like a super easy machine because that's what Hack the Box said, and I was kind of overwhelmed. I was like, okay, now that I'm in, well, I don't really have a shell. I don't have an initial access yet. So at this point, I'm still looking for creds. We can like cat out config sys. We got files equals 40. Okay. So I just went through all of this and to kind of save time. I mean, it's acting buggy. I'm not sure. I did actually get some users, but let's see. LS. So I had looked through all this stuff and not really finding, although I was finding like usernames, I wasn't finding passwords. And I was trying to figure out, it's like, how can I get some passwords? And then I remembered, why don't I try to get the SAM file, right? System, SAM, and security file. So to do that, we're gonna go to, let's see, what is it? Windows System 32 config. So we'll go back. And then we'll cd into Windows. What's going on? It's super laggy. I'll just go one at a time. Windows, cd into System 32. And then we'll cd into config. Oh, it's so slow. What's going on here? Look, yeah, like I was mentioning earlier, you can see the backups, but now we got this other partition that we're mounted to Bastion, and that's actually what we're in. It says 0 items, and that's because it's only available for root to see, not my normal user that I'm logged into. So that took a little bit of figuring out as well. So we could do a sudo ls Bastion. Oh, even the freaking ls is going slow. Oh, it's killing me. So yeah, this is definitely, with it going super slow like this, it definitely didn't help how quickly I was able to do this. I don't know if there's really a better way. But eventually it loads up. And like I mentioned, I'm pretty sure it's just because everything's going off of this this mount. Normally it's not this slow. So, alright. So for time's sake, I'm just going to show you, since this is just when it acts crazy. I'll launch a new instance. I did already scrape the back files, but I'm trying to show you guys where I found this stuff at. And as I mentioned, I still haven't completed this box, but I waited until I got very close and I could pretty much finish it off on stream with you guys and on the video. But last night it was just a lot of research and digging and note taking, and then this morning I was up trying to do it. But let's see. So yeah, that one's still just kind of sitting there. This button's not working anymore. Go to this other terminal, and then we'll CD into targets. So there you can see I got my SAM, my security, and my system. And as I mentioned, since this doesn't want to load for me, it's going to be in your Windows System32, the config file. So after you get that, the SAM, security, and system, we can run a secret dump.py. So we could do a secrets.dump. And you can see I was trying all kinds of different stuff, but that's not what we're actually going to do. We're going to do -SAM. Oh, it looks like that's it right there. -SAM, -security, -system, -local. Yep. So this is the command I ran to try to extrapolate. So we had the target system boot key, then it dumped the hashes, and then we had administrator hash, a guest hash, and this LM, whatever that is, PIE, that user. And so I tried to crack all of these hashes. There's another thing, I don't know, I felt like I was wasting my time trying, but I tried anyway to crack the hashes using Hashcat. I used every single word list that's on the internet, sec list, whatever you want to call it. Nothing worked. I spent probably a good hour, maybe a little bit more than an hour, just trying to crack these hashes. So I went on CrackStation. And I take the hash right here. And I feel like this is in a real scenario. I don't know. They say CrackStation uses massive pre-computed lookup tables, and apparently they have 19 gigabytes of hashes. So they have like 1.5 billion entry lookup table. So I was like, maybe, let's try it. I'm not a robot. Okay, check hashes. And bam, we ended up getting some creds there. So we got pure real LampJ, whatever that is. So instantly, I was pretty excited. All right, it's like, yeah, I got some creds. We're about to be done with this box. So I thought. By the way, I also tried doing CrackStation for these other, like administrator and guest. They didn't work. It wasn't going to be that easy. Now we'll just keep pushing forward. We're gonna, now that we got some creds, we can SSH into LampA. I'm just gonna call them LampA. So we could do SSH L4 MP LampJ LampA. At 10.10. I messed that up. 10.10.134, right? At 134. We'll accept the fingerprint. You gotta type out yes. Okay, the password, we'll paste that in. And bam. So now we have gained an initial foothold on the machine. I was pretty excited. I was like, yes, this took me like probably altogether 4 hours just to get the initial foothold. I was like, all right, this is gonna be easy. Let's just do a system info. Or before that, I did who am I /priv. Check privs, SE change, notify priv, bypass traverse checking enabled. Okay. See increased working privilege, increased process working set enabled. So we don't really have many privileges. So we're a very low level privileged user. So as I mentioned, I try to do a system info. Access denied. So I tried all kind of things. I started up, I was like, okay, I'm gonna get my WinPs. So I was CD into tools, ls, got my WinPs over there. So maybe I'll just, spin up a Python server and get it in there. So I'm gonna do Python 3-m HTTP server on port 80. And then going back to this, we would do something like a cert util, which I always forget exactly. Looking at my notes. So it would be something like cert util, and then we do cert util dash URL cache, file type. It's going to be a HTTP : // 10.10.14.7, and then it was WinPs x64, and I would be guessing because I couldn't do a system info, so I couldn't really verify the architecture, but I figured if I could get WinPs on here, it would probably show me some privilege escalation. So I did that. Boom, access denied. I was like, oh no. So I'm gonna have to figure out another way, right? Can't use tools. We got contacts, desktop documents. So yeah, so after a while of looking, I mean, a very long while. This was like probably, I don't know why I didn't think to look sooner, but it took me like probably 2 or 3 more hours for me to start looking in other places other than just the users and the current user directory. So we went to CD into C program files. x86. CD would help. Okay, so we dir. And looking through here, we got common files, Internet Explorer, Microsoft.net. All of these are pretty common, except for this mRemoteNG. So that's kind of what sent me down the next rabbit hole, this mRemoteNG. So I started looking up, trying to figure it out. So first of all, what is mRemoteNG? Well, it's an open source tool that helps manage remote connections for Windows. So in my finding, the next question on Google would be, exploits, vulnerabilities for remoteNG. And I came across this remoteNG decrypt. So the next question I had was, well, where does the decrypt, where does remoteNG, apparently it holds passwords. Where does it hold the passwords? Because I've been looking all over. I'm not finding passwords. It says when you save connections in mRemote, it outputs all of that data into an XML report back in your local app data folder. So it's putting it in an XML report in the local app data folder. So that's kind of where the light bulb went off. And I was like, okay, so now we're going to CD back into, we'll go back, CD into users, and then, what was it? CD into L Limpy, whatever your name is. So, users, CD into app data, CD roaming, CD into mRemoteNG, and finally there we have some cons XML. So we can just do type con XML. Oh, what the heck? Type con. Now I'm misspelling it. Here we go. All right. So, looking at all this, we can see after kind of skimming through it, I see an administrator, domain, password right here. Password for the administrator. It looks like it's in, well, I know it's not base 64, but some kind of encryption. Select. So now we will go back. We'll actually open up another. We'll CD into our hack the box, and then Bastion ls. And here I did already pull this decrypt.py that we were looking at briefly. So they're saying just Python 3 remote decrypt, and then I can add a string, and then the custom password, -p the custom password. So let's try that out. We'll try Python 3 recon.py -string and well, I think it did a -p. Aha. Right there, password. So just gonna add this to my notes because like I said, I haven't gone all the way through with it, but we are about to get administrator now. We'll copy this password. Then we'll go ahead and SSH into administrator at 10.10.10.12134. Administrator password. Boom, baby. We are in the admin club, in the admin house. That only took like 6 or 7 hours. So that is going to be it for this one, guys. I appreciate you guys sticking around, watching. So go ahead, hit that like button, subscribe, comment what I could have done better, any tips or tricks that I should have done, and make sure you hit that follow or subscribe button to get more cyber and more hacking content. Peace, you guys.